Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're doing War 8 of Season 52 versus CZSK, and I'm bringing in Void, White Tiger and Kate Bishop. I was a little bit hungover this war, so I make a couple of early mistakes that you'll see when we get there, but yeah, overall the war goes well. So I'm starting off on path 8 here up against this Killmonger. There's not really many nodes to worry about. If I knock him down, he gets a cruelty, which allows him to crit through my block. But starting off, I'm just planning on chucking a couple of SP1s and then going for my SP2. Go for an intercept straight away and get intercepted myself, so that kind of jolts me, gets me to focus a little bit more. And yeah, I've got the combat regen because I wasn't using any other grey boosts, so I figured I'd throw one on, and it comes in handy. I do have Resonate on him, bit of foreshadowing for later, but it's not too bad. It just means that he gains a little bit more power every so often. I'm not too worried about reverb, as long as I manage it and bait out a special before he triggers it, that's all fine. I got backed up into my corner, so I can't go for my 2 SB1s. I don't try and get the crit buff because, or the crit passive, because I was backed up in the corner. I just wanted to get out of the corner, but we got it here. Get a little bit of reverb back, but I knew it wasn't going to kill me. I've taken Killmonger before with White Tiger, and reverb needs to be really high to even impact you. So yeah, not a bad fight, not the smoothest start to the war, and we move on to this Rintrah. This Rintrah is pretty basic. He's got personal space fury, so he's going to be gaining buffs throughout. Every buff that he has on him will reduce my ability accuracy, my defensive ability accuracy, so parries may be a little bit harder. So I'm just taking advantage of knocking him down while I can. I know the heavy counter, so if I do get too many buffs on him, I can just heavy counter his heavy or his special one, and that'll control his charges. The next thing you need to worry about is the tactic. We've got nice heal block up early here, so we're just going to keep on hitting him. This isn't the shortest fight. Void suffers a little bit this tactic just because you can't reverse regen. Like round about now, we'd be starting to reverse regen a little bit if the tactic wasn't there with the heal block, but you know, slow and steady, just playing it very, very safe, making sure we get those special punches in, heavy punishing to knock him down and control his charges. Luckily we're keeping our distance, so there's not really many fury buffs stacking up at all. One comes around every so often, but I can just back off and let it fall off. He was being a little bit stingy with his special there, but we get it out of him. And around about now, his charges are getting pretty high, so I'm kind of looking for a good opportunity to apply my heal block and then trigger the power gain. I'm backing off a little bit, throwing my relic because I know that can't miss. That applies a couple of debuffs and applies the heal block just in time for the power gain, and now I know the fight is completely over. I just throw my L1 and let him tick out. So yeah, pretty safe fight. Not a fast one, but Void is rarely super fast. He's just incredibly safe and incredibly reliable. Moving on to section 2, we have this Emma Frost. She is on the protection knockdown node, so she's got 95% reduction in my damage until I knock her down. I'm going to be taking this one pretty steady. I'm going to be trying to time my knockdowns with the protection, but you'll see I kind of mistime it a few times throughout the fight. As I said, my head was not 100% in it. It's why I'm being very deliberate about everything I do and not taking any risks, because yeah, my head wasn't 100% in it. But one thing I am taking advantage of is when an opponent is stun immune, like Emma is in her diamond form, you can parry and re-parry in order to apply tactic charges. I'll be taking advantage of that whenever I can. It just means we can get tactic up very quickly. I'm not sure that's intended, but it's the way it's working at the moment. So it's a nice way to get tactic up against stun immune opponents. You can use that against boss, you can use that against the stun immune hazard shift, and you can use it against opponents that are specifically stun immune. So for example, as she triggers the power gain there, I just back off and do a couple of reparries in order to get my heal block back up. I'm not expecting this to be a fast fight either. If I get protection down the whole time, you know, it's not too bad, but it's not going to be a nuke. So I just need to watch out for her reversed specials. I need to watch out for the stun immunity. I need to control the tactic is the main thing. Like as you see there, I just mistimed that knockdown, so we don't get it there, but I just go for a relic into heavy, and then we can carry on doing our damage. I'm hoping the fight isn't much more than 2 minutes. We're on good pace for that around about now, but yeah, we just need to keep on knocking it down, controlling tactic, and then the fight should be under our control. Again, I mistimed it slightly there, and I just go for another L1 to knock it down. We've got heal block back up again, so I don't punish this in order to not pause the tactic. I think that's one really good tip, is when you're on 14 and you have your heal block up, for example, just don't punish the special, give them that last charge that triggers the power gain safely, and then you can really handle the tactic well in that sense. Anyway, moving on to this Zemo. So he's on the node where when you're close to him, he'll apply fatigues to himself. When the champion shrugs off 3 debuffs, they will go unblockable for a short amount of time, and every time they shrug off, they will gain a little energize, which increases their combat power rate. One other thing that makes this fight more complex than it was supposed to be is me leaving Resonate on. So I'm going into this fight applying debuffs every so often, and that's not good for Zemo because I want to be able to control it. And you'll notice as soon as I do this first medium, it applies a weakness, and I'm like, oh no, that is not good. And I go straight for my special one, and I'm a bit rattled, so I do an early release. And that is the first time I've ever done an early release in War with Kate. The mixture of being really frustrated with myself and a little bit hungover meant that I just went for it. So there I go for my special one, and luckily the special one gets there before he actually shrugs off that 5th debuff. Otherwise I would have been rooted, and that would have been bad. I've got my second special one off, which means that as soon as this resistance go away, I'll start actually doing some good damage. When he shrugs off all his debuffs, Zemo gets an energy resistance passive, which is not good, but now the fight is safe and we managed to close it out. That looked a lot better than it actually was. I was a couple of different procs away from just being rooted, getting bleeds on me, and a whole lot going wrong. So yeah, turn off Resonate when you don't want it is the lesson. But moving on, we have this Photon again. I'm getting very, very used to this now. I have done it pretty much every war. But as usual, we're just going to be trying to push her into pure light safely. That is the name of the game here. I don't have an invuln this time. I'm trying to save them. I'm very low at this point in the season, and this is a fight that I felt safe enough on to not use an invuln. If you have enough, I'd really recommend using an invuln because it's really nice if you miss time pure light, or if you need to push her to special 3. I think a fight later this season, I do end up needing to push Photon to special 3, and it's a really nice sort of safety net to have. Like if she's not throwing specials and you're trapped in your corner, just being able to combo her up to 3 bars and just baiting that is very nice. And there, I'm failed at Dex. I'm now stuck in the corner. I don't have much opportunity to bait out the special properly, and then I push her into pure light when she's on too much power. Luckily she threw that straight away into my block, so I didn't have the temptation to even try and Dex it. I just took it on block very safely, and then we combo and relic to survive the rest of the pure light. That could have been bad. I mean, one special one from Photon isn't going to kill Void. He's tanky enough, but like I didn't want to lose potentially like half of my health, so I'm glad that I just took that into block and managed it safely. And here I'm kind of back in my corner. The heal block's about to fall off, so I start trying to reverse regen. I'm just going to sit here, parry. I've got my petrify up, so she's just going to start ticking down, and I'm in control of the fight finally, and it's about to end. But yeah, that was one of the hairier versions of that fight. It wasn't too bad, but the combination of being comboed and then having to use a special 2 in order to push her to pure light meant that she had too much power. And yeah, that was a little scary at times. Moving on to this Serpent. I've been taking this one a lot as well, but I'm very happy to. It's a really fun fight once you get it down, and it's one of the toughest placements on the map right now, so I'm happy to take it. But yeah, we're going to be going for the same strategy as usual, starting off by nullifying his power gain to get that under control, then going for a heavy, 2 SB1s, and then timing our special 2s at the right moment in order to power steal or bait a special. And yeah, that is the strategy. So first off, nullify, then we go for the heavy, and then I'm fine if he throws a special 1 here before me, but if I can get my opening, I go for it. And then again, either he throws a special 1 or I get an opening and I throw my special 1 and bait the special 2. Here, I'm fine that this doesn't knock him down because I kind of want to time the protection a little bit later, because that means that I can get my special 2 in at the right moment anyway. So we bait out the special 1. You'll notice we have all the duration of the special of the protection being down here, so that we can go in, we can get our special 2 off, and then we're in a great position to bait out another special 1 from him, be able to heavy counter this. And then again, I'm fine if he throws a special 1. If not, I would have gone for my special 2 and baited out his special 2. But we managed to get our opening for the crit, back in, straight for another special 2. And then we can once again bait out a heavy. I've got my power steal, so that's why I didn't bait out his special. Here, I'm fine if he throws it. He threw it into block, a little bit annoying, but I was also ready to bait out a heavy, go for a full combo into relic, which is what we're doing now. But just to illustrate that it's kind of reacting to what Serpent does as much as you dictating the tempo of the fight. You've got to either, you know, like I'm nudging him to do what I want him to do, but sometimes he will just throw a special. Generally the rule is that if I have my power steal on my special 2, I'll just bait a heavy from him. If I don't have my power steal, then I will bait a special from him. But yeah, moving on to Void versus Magneto on this hazard shift node. So again, I can use the parry trick in order to build tactic, but also with a slightly less of a tempo fight against Magneto here, because I can only hit him half the time, and even then, you'll see here, like, it's difficult to get an opening. The tactic isn't as much of an issue here because you're kind of elongating how many times you're hitting Magneto with Void, and you're obviously applying debuffs over time with Void anyway. So we hit him comparatively less compared to how many debuffs we actually apply. So like I've only hit him 8 times and we've already got the tactic up. But if I needed to speed up the process, I could always just parry and reparry a couple times. I'm going to be trying to stay out of my corner. Like, I don't want to be there. I'm not going to head back there on my own as we kind of combo into the power gain while it was still there and my heal blocker dropped off. So taking a nice combo there. But yeah, I'm not going to be trying to go back to my corner, but as you've seen throughout this season, I am very comfortable, especially against Magneto, just chilling in the corner and letting him tick out. It's kind of in my back pocket as a backup strat, but I'm going to be playing for space when I can. I'm going to be trying to get intercepts when I can, step back into specials or relic or whatever I need to do. But yeah, we're in a good place at the moment, halfway through the fight pretty much, and he throws a special and I get an intercept or an opening, straight into special 1. We get the tactic up once more, which is good, and bait out this next special. There, I get an intercept just as the hazard shift incinerate phase is falling off, so and shifting over to poison, so I just kind of chill for a second. See me reparrying a couple times because he's getting closer to 15, so if I get an intercept here or I step back into relic, I guess, I get up to my heal block and we trigger the power gain very safely, and I can just step back into the special 1 and KO. So not too bad. I'm getting very used to that fight now, and we move on next to another fight that I've been doing a lot. This season's been a little repetitive. It's fun, it's good. I'm I'm enjoying the fights, but they're pretty samey. So apologies if you're seeing the same thing over and over again. Hopefully it's just a different perspective on the fight every time. But moving on to this Magneto, Mangog, on 46. So the aspect of evolution, power gain. I've got a couple of reads here. This means that with a couple of nice resonate procs, which we got, we get tactic up very quickly. The nice thing about tactic in this fight specifically is previously, without the tactic, you would have to hope for early petrifies in order to completely control Mangog. Like, you can do it even if petrifies are later on, but if you get petrifies early, it's really nice to be able to control the power gain. Having said that, with this tactic, if you get heal block up early, that's an extra like 75% reduction, which is pretty similar to getting an early petrify. A little bit better than 1, not quite as good as 2. So it's really nice to be able to rely on reducing the power gain of Mangog on this node, specifically with Void. If you have a couple of reads, and even if you don't get good resonate procs, you know, by the time that you've thrown off one special one, you've probably applied 2 debuffs. And in which case, if you had 3 reads, you've got the tactic up. So generally about 1 bar of power, got tactic. Here we have triggered the power gain, but I don't have my heal block, so I'm only going in for 1 hit there, just in case it does miss. But I'm trying to kind of keep up my tempo, keep hitting him, and just keep him ticking down. And while I've been waffling on about the tactic, he's kind of gone down very safely. And we close out the fight, and another war done. I was very happy not to die in this war. It's never fun to die when you're hungover. But in any case, that'll do it for this one. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.